Okay, week 3 still here. 2 games to go tonight. There were some upsets. There were some teams that didn't have wins that finally got them. And then, there's one called the Bengals. That doesn't have a win. Winless. Do they get one over the Commanders, Kevin Durant's team? Tonight, we're going to get you guys set for that. And to break everything down from yesterday, Luke Kuechly is here to make us smarter. Let's get an education this morning, shall we? What happened on that last play for the Falcons? Why can't the Ravens close out a game without some drama? What happened to the Texans' offense? And is Flores the scariest thing going? Big week here on Up and Adams. I think we're giving away some bonus bets over on our social page at Up and Adams Show on Twitter, on YouTube as well. If you're watching, I think we're giving away some money. I negotiated, I bartered, not like I did at the car dealership where I was miserable. I negotiated up with the FanDuel overlords to give away $1,000 in bonus bets today. Sometime this morning. So get over there. That means we're going to pick 10 people, $100 each. Nice little Monday, huh? How'd you guys do on Sunday? Up and Adams Show freaking crushed it. We got everything right. Matthew Hamilton. We have Luke Kuechly coming here. But let's take a little victory lap, shall we? We had Montgomery scoring. We had Juwan Jennings with the 1, not 2, not 3. We had people clowning me for picking Dak Prescott for daily fantasy. Lo and behold, a garbage time action in a comeback in the fourth quarter. What else did we get right? Everything.
Yeah, Dak ended up as the #1 scoring QB from Sunday's games, which is crazy. Alvin Kamara over those 65.5 rush yards. You got that one right, too.
Sure, not the best game from him, but
yeah.
I loved he hit the over. He certainly did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. People were tweeting that we got so many of our things right. And, by the way, if you want to be a disruptor, if you want to be a game breaker, ball hawk, come on the program, because that's what happens. Justin Simmons, we talked about his interceptions against Patrick Mahomes. Of course, he gets another one, the 4-time All-Pro, and then Xavier McKinney. And I said, Are you going to get another one? Is Will Levis going to be crying all week because you're going to pick him off? And he did. Xavier McKinney, week 1, week 2, now week 3. As this Packers defense is, mwah, and I do believe, although the Eagles really needed that win and they're going to have the confidence now, I do believe it might be the Packers in the NFC. But yeah, great job on all of our little things. We've got some hunches for tonight's action as well.
Yeah, yes, we do. Coming up, 2 Monday night games, so lots of hunches to get through. We're going to spring some stuff on you. It'll be great.
Sounds terrifying. Okay, everyone, listen to this. For the 3rd straight week, the Chiefs get taken down to the wire. Are they weaker than we think? Probably not. They'll be in the big game, maybe. But for the 3rd straight week, the Chiefs have walked away with a win. And it was really the defense that stepped up last night as the offense went 3 and out on both fourth-quarter drives to give Atlanta sort of multiple shots coming down to take the lead. So Nick Bolton, let's give him some love here. 4th and 1 stop on Bojan to seal the deal. The front 7 got it done all night long, baby. They held Robinson to 31 yards on 16 carries. It's kind of unbelievable. So impressive. Good job by Spaggy, baby. They got to Kirk a ton. They hit him 10 times. They made him uncomfortable in big spots, key plays late in the game. And it's not like the Chiefs' offense wasn't humming. It's not like they were horrible. But Mahomes, as you can tell here, not satisfied after the game.
We haven't played good. Really all 3 games. We've been able to win. That speaks to the character of the team, the grit, how we've been in these situations before. I'll speak especially offensively, and myself, I feel like I haven't played very well. And that's not a stats thing. I just feel like I'm missing opportunities whenever they're out there and not throwing the ball in the exact spot I want it to be at. So it's about me getting back to my fundamentals, putting our guys in the right position, and then we got to execute at a higher level offensively. If teams are going to make us drive the field, we have to prove that we're able to do that. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of the same this next week with the Chargers.
Part of me is rolling my eyes because they're undefeated, right? I'm looking at my Bengals. They haven't gotten a win yet. This team beat this really good team. Also, people are sleeping on the Falcons' defense. They're very good. I will say the thing that's not there yet, and it'll happen, and we'll see, it's the explosive plays, isn't it? They averaged just 4.8 yards per play last night on the year. They're averaging their fewest yards per play in the entire Mahomes experience, in the entire era. Kelsey, just 30 yards. That was weird. He's averaging 23 yards a game so far. I'm not saying this to knock KC. I'm saying it because doesn't it make them scarier? They beat 3 really good teams without their fastball being explosive plays. And it's hard for me to imagine the offense isn't going to get better and get in a rhythm, especially when their quarterback's salty and not happy and unsatisfied, dissatisfied, whatever you want to say. They have more talent in that group on the field that you saw last night than they did in a year ago. And it's just a matter of time before Andy and Patrick, of course, get it clicking. No one's saying there are any worries in Kansas City, not on this set, not on this show. So we'll see what happens against the Chargers. That game decides, by the way, who's sitting in first place in the AFC West through the first quarter of the season. And just like that, we're almost a quarter of the way through. It's why every moment's precious and why we got to love it while we have it. 2 games to go tonight. Give me your comments at Up and Adam Show. Who deserves some love? Do you have any smart questions for Luke Kuechly? Did you see a smart play? Who will he crown as his genius moment of Week 2 Sunday action? We'll, of course, get into the Bryce Young of it all with our friend Luke Kuechly as well. Andy Dalton, what a win for them and Canales and company. They were a piñata for media in pregame shows yesterday. Then they go and they pull it off. So complicated situation we'll navigate through with our guy. And we'll break down some of these games as well. I want to get to Dallas here. Unstoppable Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry combo, and Emmitt Smith alluded to it, Hall of Famer, when he was on our show. We waited all offseason to see this, and we finally got it, didn't we? The two combined for 238 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground alone. Lamar putting up another 182, a touchdown, and a near perfect passer rating through the air. Still, somehow, they blew a double-digit lead late in the game. Does it matter? I don't know. They held on this time. They pick up their first win of the year. Let's listen to John Harbaugh on why things were clicking so well with his backfield yesterday.
I think we blocked really well, and I think Derrick ran really well, and I think Lamar caused a problem for him too because they had to defend Lamar as well. And you saw Lamar getting out and going the other way. He read all those plays really well. Some of those plays are read, some of them aren't. So this combination right here that's sitting here in this room is a tough one to defend.
The emphasis on him saying blocking really well. That right there says a lot because they struggled in that area over the first couple of weeks, and it's more about that, I think, than Lamar, than Derrick. And let's not forget the Ravens were replacing 60%, most of that offensive line. It shouldn't be totally shocking that they got off to somewhat of a slow start this year. But that being said, the backfield looked like nothing I don't know that any of us have ever seen in our lives yesterday. I don't know how you stop this thing. Maybe Kuechly has the answers. Do you guys have the answer? I don't know. When those two are really rolling like this, who's stopping them? And while it might not be to the tune of nearly 300 yards every week, and they're not playing that Cowboys run defense every week, I think it's closer to what we're going to see from these two going forward. They do need to figure out how to close out games emphatically. I can't believe this is still a thing all these years later, and we'll see if Keeks has some things to say about this. But big road win for Baltimore. They get back on track, and a lot of good to take away from what we saw yesterday. Okay, I also, before we get to the break, and Luke Kuechly, smartest man in football. So blessed to have him on our show. Let's hit on what I think was the most impressive performance of the day with the Vikings, okay? Demolishing the Texans, who I boast, oh, they've got this great defense. Vikings are undefeated. What? We'll get into the defense in Flores, and there's somebody coming on the show that's going to be in the Hall of Fame to do that better than I, but let's focus on the offense in Sam Darnold. Not 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. He is running this high-volume KOD offense beautifully, but yesterday we saw why our friend Aaron Jones, why that pickup was the most overlooked and biggest and most meaningful move of the offseason. No disrespect to Derek Carr and what he did with Baltimore. Aaron had Derek Henry, sorry. Aaron had over 100 on the ground, 5 for 46, and this touchdown through the air, I believe he got a game ball too from Coach O'Connell. This Texans defense that looked so dominant over the first couple of weeks had no answer for him. This Vikings run game ranked 29th a year ago. They gave Sam Darnold a weapon like this on the ground, and the security for him, the little blankie in the passing game. This is why this offense is so hot right now. And this is, by the way, why it is sustainable. So all these people saying, oh, I'm waiting for it to fall down, and I'm waiting like a couple weeks it's going to go away. Why would it? This isn't fluky. You have Justin Jefferson. You have, who looked so juiced when he got the game ball. It was so fun to watch. You have Aaron Jones perennially who does it. I think this is who Darnold is when you surround him with the right pieces. And I think this is who the Vikings are. And if they beat the Niners and the Texans, which they did, They want to make a statement. You know how they do it. They go up against that Super Bowl contender, Green Bay. Aaron Jones. We had the Daniil Hunter revenge game in this one. Didn't quite pan out beautifully. How about Aaron Jones going back to Lambeau? That is appointment viewing for next week. Sam Darnold's story sort of gives me faith in a Bryce Young second act, right? The Baker Mayfield, the Darnold, the Justin Fields, if you will. Let's talk to our favorite linebacker, Luke Kuechly. After this, we're gonna try to hit 6 games. That's my goal. Will we get there? I don't know. We'll probably talk a little youth football. Who knows? We got Kuechly on the program next. Hamilton, why do I say on the program? On the program, like what year am I? Like, am I the oldest little biddy in the entire world? Like, who says on the program? When's the last time somebody said that earnestly? What are you doing here? Come say hi to Hamilton. Come here.
Who's there?
Hey, birthday boy.
Hello, Friday. Where are we? Oh, there we are.
This is the
what's
face.
up, Eric?
This is the face of a victory, Green Bay Packers Xavier McKinney fan.
He is so juiced about his Packers right now.
How about Malik?
Malik Willis?
Yeah.
Just a perfect angel of a quarterback.
An angel.
An
An
angel of a
angel,
man
a celestial
that just comes and graces
being.
this team with his excellence. Did the Titans see it? Absolutely not. But what do the Packers do? They see the greatness in people that others don't.
I think you're going to lose to the Vikings.
I do too, but I got it. All right.
See ya. I can't handle
Had
week
to take
4.
him back down there.
I can't even think about what week 4 brings. I can't. This stresses me out. We're putting this boy over here. This, by the way, stresses me out.
Yeah, as close to a must-win as you can get in week 3.
I will say, and the Ravens they're so mad in there. I know that they're really mad. I'm a little worried. If you had a worry, what would it be?
About this Bengals team?
Just about tonight,
Or about tonight with the Bengals? I mean,
the D line worries me a little bit.
Yeah, if Jaden Daniels can get things going with his legs like he has the first couple of weeks, it's an issue. And that Commanders run game overall with Brian Robinson, Eckler, it's been really effective. So you're right. We've seen the weakness of this Bengals team be the run game, the run D, that D line. That's what the Commanders have done best so far.
Yeah. What was Hubbard's injury? Was he dealing with something?
Let me see. Yeah, he was dealing with it kind of all off season.
I want you to watch
all
him
training
tonight.
camp. Yeah.
I want you to watch him tonight and tell me if you think he's.
Yeah, so knee injury, August 1st.
Yeah. A little worried about that. That line.
You know they can do it when everybody's healthy. It's just, health is a big question right now.
Yeah. Do you have any guests? What do we got going on this week?
We got Gronk coming back. Devontae Adams coming back tomorrow.
Yeah. Nobody else booked.
We have DeMarcus Ware.
Oh, love that. Love that.
Thursday. Mark Sanchez, who we can talk to about being
Kindergarten cop villain.
Kindergarten cop. Yeah.
Can we get that mock-up, please? I think it's all over Twitter. It's well done and accurate.
Making some loop chants here in the stadium.
Being wrapped up by Luke Kuechly. Kuechly, you are beautiful. Man, the tackling machine. Luke Kuechly, what more can you do?
5-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowl linebacker, Panthers radio analyst, smartest mind in football, and now an official. This isn't surprising to anybody. It's kind of like I don't even know. Was it shocking or exciting? What did it feel like to be named officially as a nominee for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025, Luke Kuechly?
You know what? It's cool. Ryan Khalil also got a nod to a guy that I played with for a long time that was super helpful in my career. He's got a great family, and when I got here, I was a young kid, and his family was fantastic and helped me along the way. But it's a cool feeling. It's great to be nominated for it, and now we'll just kind of wait and see what happens.
I ask you what it's like to be nominated into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and you bring up Khalil in your first 3 words. This is why
he's the best.
This is why you are you, and you are one of one, because you don't even take the victory lap.
Nah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It is cool. I think you grow up playing the game of football and you watch a lot of guys. And I grew up watching Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher and Derek Brooks and Zach Thomas. And you always want to be like one of those guys in some form or fashion. You know, you look at Ray Lewis, the guy at the heart of that Ravens defense, and then Derek Brooks playing that outside linebacker position in that Tampa 2 and the big interception in the Super Bowl, and Zach Thomas always around the football. And then Brian Urlacher was a guy that I looked up to a lot because he played Mike linebacker and he was able to drop in coverage. He was always around the football, and he played for the Chicago Bears. And so to have the opportunity to potentially join those guys is really cool.
All I care about is how those kids from Charlotte Christian Middle School took it. Did they dap you up at least? Go Knights.
Yeah, well, you know what? Go Knights is right. We played last Wednesday, double overtime thriller. Defense, the coaches need to look at themselves and figure out if we put our kids in the position to be successful. They scored over 30 on us. Luckily, the Greg Olson offense put up some points and kept us in the game.
Love that. All right, let's talk about the NFL now. And seriously, congrats on the nomination. It'll be amazing to see it go down. And I just hope for you. That's my mission for this season, just to get you to give yourself just a little love here. We're going to have to work on that, but I love that for you. Chiefs last night. Okay, so they're undefeated. They're great. They got the Falcons. They kept Robinson and the run game in check, which was nice and not easy to do. What was Spags doing so well last night?
Well, you look at the end of the game right there, and I think Spags has been a big part of what they've done the last year and a half, even going into this year. I think that their guys are a lot of guys that they've drafted. You look at Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, all guys that they drafted and they believe, hey, this is what we do on the Kansas City Chiefs defense. We're going to be a big part of this team to be successful. And at the end of the game, Leo Chanel, he's an outside linebacker, defensive end. He's powerful, he's physical, and he sets a firm edge. He gets vertical, makes that ball bubble, and then the guy Nick Bolton inside out to the ball, big tackle there on fourth down, the end of the game. And I think that these guys, you can tell a lot by a defense with how they play, how they do their job. Do they believe in their defensive system, and do they believe in their defensive coordinator? And I think all those guys believe in Spags. You watch him on the sideline; he looks just like a guy that you wanna play for. But what I think Spags does such a good job is he puts a lot of ownership on his guys to say, "Hey, I'm gonna call plays that allow you guys to be you, and I need you guys to go out and do it."
You mentioned that 4th and inches stop. I wish we would have rolled the footage. I think we have it back there. I want to know what you think of the play call on the Falcons side, and then of course the stop. What do you think of the play call, though?
You know what? I know it's 4th and inches. You'd like to say, hey, let's just go right at him. But I think, like I said, Leo Chanel, he gets vertical right there and creates that vertical crease. And Nick Bolton is just such a good player and pushes in there and makes the play. If there's no penetration right there and they can get the fullback on the perimeter, then they've got a play right there because he's got an angle on Nick Bolton. So, hats off to the Chiefs. Yeah, you can second guess a play call all you want, but when these coaches get in situation, they say, hey, it's 4th and 1, we need a play. They draw it up on the board. They have great confidence in what they drew up and their guys. Just comes down to Chiefs just made a play there at the end of the game to seal it.
We're going to try to get to as many games as possible. You were on your flight from Vegas. I'm so appreciative that you're on the show. I can't imagine what time you got back to Charlotte. But you called the game. This Panthers squad put up 36 points on the road against the Raiders. It was Andy Dalton under center. What was Andy Dalton doing that worked for this team yesterday?
Well, I think he spread the ball out. Everybody got involved. Obviously, this clip right here, Chuba played fantastic. He's a guy that's come a long way for us and been great. But he spread the ball out. Tommy Tremble had a big catch on the first drive. Deontay Johnson was phenomenal. They played a lot of too high man on 3rd down. And it was funny to watch Andy. It's like he dropped back and said, hey, Deontay, go win. I'm just going to throw you the ball. And then Deontay played really well. But the ball got spread around. Leggett had a big catch. Mingo had a couple big plays. The receivers blocked on the perimeter, but what Andy did a really good job is he just played within the system. He put the ball where it needed to be. And I'll tell you what, Dave Canales, I thought, did a fantastic job of just dialing it up. You could tell watching that game, there's certain sets that he likes, and he's got 4 or 5 plays off those sets. Is it a split? Are they going to line up in split safety? If it's split safety, we've got an answer. If they sink down and play single high against the same formation, we've got an answer for that. And I was kind of talking to the guys after the game, like, what were we what were we doing in this formation? He said, hey, this is the read for me, and it's pretty simple. This is Andy talking. It's pretty easy for me. If it's single high, I do this. If it's too high, I do that. And it's just football at some point gets easy when, hey, we trust what our coaches have dialed up and we trust our players, and now let's go let our guys go have fun. And we didn't make it too complicated, and there was a concerted effort by Dave Canales to get everybody involved in the game. Thielen had a package. They got Mingo on some stuff, on some screens. They got Leggett on a really easy OTB, over the ball spacing concept, and let him go do his thing with the ball in his hand. So I thought Andy did a really good job of making some difficult throws. He sat in the pocket really well, and he just took what the defense gave him. And that's just Andy, what he's been able to do his whole career. He said, it's not about me. It's about the guys in this team. I'm just going to get it out and get it to those guys.
Dave Canales was a piñata yesterday on these pregame shows. ESPN went after him. You don't hire a quarterback coach, you hire a defensive guy. I know that you've heard it all. You've been adamant. You've been adamant about when I was with you in Carolina, we went to visit camp. Before that, back to last year with the hiring. You're a Dave Canales believer, it sounds like. Are you, and why are those, you're even saying in this game, the coaching, trust the coaching. Can you just talk to me about that? Because what you're saying is different to what a lot of people are saying, Luke.
Well, I think it goes back to kind of when we first hired him. I remember I was at the Super Bowl last year, and Rasheed, running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 1. What is his name, Kay? I'm blanking right now.
Sorry, sorry. What did you say?
Running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 1, who's a rookie last year.
Oh, Rachaad White.
Rachaad White,
yeah.
yes. I saw him and I'm like, man, what's the deal with Dave Canales? And he's like, hey, I'm really bummed that he's gone. He's a great coach. He's a great person. He forms great relationships. So going in before I met Dave Canales, you hear something great from a running back and guys in that team that loved him. And when they say, hey, we're bummed he's gone, all right, initial positive. And then you meet him. He's positive. He's a good dude. You can tell he cares about the guys. So boom, check that box off. After the first 2 weeks, we've struggled. I mean, it's clear as day. And all he talked about was, we believe in our guys. We believe in our system. We believe that it's about the 53 guys in the locker room, and just be patient and we're going to figure it out. And then he comes back this week. He makes a very difficult call to play Andy. And then we go into that game, and like you said, everyone is hammering him. And then all he does for this game is just go out, and we hung over 30 on the Raiders that just beat a really good Baltimore Ravens team. And we didn't just beat them. We scored on 7 out of 11 of our drives, and it looked easy, and play calling, and we had answers, and they had a lot of guys mugged up on the line of scrimmage, and we had answers to it. You'd see Andy behind the line of scrimmage, check protection, check the routes outside on the perimeter, and then we had answers. And then, like I said, there was a couple formations that you could tell that we schemed up during the week, and we ran them, and we had multiple plays off of them. And it's fun to watch those games because you can tell a lot of work went in during the week to get us ready to go. And then the game comes around, Andy executes the game plan. And the best thing that we did yesterday is we kept our foot on the gas. We were up big at the end of the game, and our game plan didn't change. We were running the ball. We were throwing play action. The ball was going down the field. We were intermediate. We were getting guys involved. It was a fun game to watch. And I'll leave it at the last thing about that game is Dave Canales asks these receivers to do a lot. He asks them to block on the perimeter. He asks them to run big clear out routes. Like Thielen ran a big clear out, and Deontay Johnson ran a big dagger in behind him on a big third down. And the only way that route opens up is if Thielen puts his head down and clears out of safety. And then a couple plays later, they throw the touchdown to Adam Thielen. So that's what I like about Dave Canales. He's like, I see you guys working really hard on the perimeter, blocking, running routes where there's zero chance you're going to get the ball. But guess what? If you do that, I'm going to get you the ball. Yeah. And I just feel like as a player, that's so awesome knowing your coach has your back.
Really well said. Everyone seemed to step up. That's what everyone brought their A game. So if we were in a math class and we were doing fractions, I'd try to find the least common denominator here. And so now I have to ask you, based on what you said, what does this say? What does yesterday say about Bryce Young?
I think you look at the start to Bryce's career, right? He's had 3 head coaches. He's had 3 different people calling plays. He's had assortment of wide receivers. He's had, we struggled up front last year. And then now this year, the season didn't start off great, obviously. I think maybe this could be really good for him. I think Bryce is still super talented. I like him as a guy. He was very active on the sidelines with the guys. He didn't shut down. He didn't go in a hole. And, Andy got the benefit of watching for the first 2 weeks, and he's a veteran quarterback. He's been around, but I'm not ready to write Bryce off. I think you learn a lot about guys when adversity hits, and his mindset this week, just talking to guys over there, how he was how he handled the game. Andy talked a lot about, hey, I'm going to come to the sideline and talk to Bryce after series to see what he thinks. So, I mean, yeah, it's difficult for Bryce. He was a number 1 overall pick. He struggled at the start of his career. He's had a lot of noise around him, from coaches to play callers to guys around him on the offensive side of the ball. So maybe this will be an opportunity for him to just sit back and relax and take a breath and just hang for a second.
So it's about, to you, it's about confidence, not skill level?
I think he's still got it. He can throw it. He's smart. He processes. You go back and watch him at Alabama. He can do everything. It's we'll just take a second. Let's just sit back. Let's just relax. Let's go let Andy sling it around a little bit and see where it puts us.
From a football perspective, what's the one thing, and it's not to compare them, who's better, whatever. What did Andy do yesterday that is unique, that is different than what we've seen from Bryce? From your perspective, what is it that Andy's doing that you think Bryce is really trying to learn how to do?
Well, the ball came out. The ball came out quickly, and Andy was, the first reason out there, check it down. I thought he did a really good job at the line of scrimmage, and he put some good touch on the ball, something that Bryce has. But I think the biggest thing that Andy did yesterday is he played within the system. He trusted his guys, and he got the ball out.
Really well said. Panthers, are you get to be home next week, next Sunday? You got the Bengals. Next week.
Bengals for Andy Dalton, big one.
Oh, that's a fun one. Gosh, I love it. And that's where I live. I live in the storylines. You live in the X's and O's. Really well said by you. Congrats on the win to the Panthers. A much needed boost and hopefully some confidence there. I want to get to some more of these games. Let's go to the Eagles. They needed a win. They needed to say, we have the defense, we can do this. Big comeback win on the road in New Orleans. Tough place to play. They hold the Saints, who were red hot, Clint Kubiak, all this stuff. 12 points after scoring 91 in the first 2 weeks. How did that old dog, Vic Fangio, slow down what is and was the hottest offense in the game?
Well, I'm sure he challenged the guys on his team. They didn't play very well the last couple of weeks. They didn't play great inside. Jalen Carter is a guy that they're relying a lot on. And then obviously Jordan Reed, 2 big guys inside. And we've talked about, when you play this type of system, you need to have good interior guys that are active and athletic, and you need to set firm edges in this wide zone run game. And they didn't have the advantage of, of being up early in the game to get them out of the wide zone, heavy play action. But I think Vic Fangio did a really good job. He's mixed up 4 down, 5 down, 6 down fronts. He challenges big guys inside to play really well, and they answered. They were stout against the run game. They forced some turnovers. They had the big pick with Blankenship at the end of the game. And the mark of a good defense is sudden change. So obviously the block punt happened. They go 4 straight runs, stuff them, no points on the board. And that's a testament to obviously great scheme by Vic Fangio, but I'm sure he went in this week and really challenged his guys to be more physical in the run game. And those 2 big monsters inside, those Georgia guys, they played really well this past week.
It's a Saints team that you really like. You guys got them out the gates, and that offense was great. People are already clowning on Derek Carr. Oh, they hadn't played a great team yet. Do you still believe in the Saints? I mean, I think Derek Carr faced some adversity, and he made some tough throws.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that Eric McCoy, their center, got banged up, he's really good. He's a really good player. He's the anchor of that team. And when you miss that center position, then you got to start plugging and playing and moving guys around on the offensive line. It gets very difficult. So that's one thing, is how do the injuries affect them? But I think Philly they played really well. That's a difficult team to play against when things are even, when you don't have a lead and they can run wide zone and they can throw heavy play action and they can drop back and take shots. That's a difficult offense to play against. And I give Vic Fangio a lot of credit for setting really good firm edges, and then those two big guys inside were very disruptive.
Yeah, I like the run game emphasis, the whole Kubiak whatever. Like, it's obviously very cool, but you can't forget that the passing game exists. I would like to see the Saints trust their quarterback a little bit more, and hopefully they do in week 4. Let's get to another game here. Ravens, Cowboys. They pull out the win. It was definitely like a sweaty one, though. I was, worried about them. They blew a huge lead, 28-6 entering the fourth quarter. So Lamar Jackson, after the game, he says that he thought that they should have kept the foot on the gas, a la Canales against those Raiders yesterday. What's going on with Baltimore in closing out games?
I sometimes think that playing with as big of a lead as they had is difficult on the defensive side. On the defensive side of the ball, there's so much pressure not to give up quick scores and have the ball thrown over our head that sometimes your mentality is, hey, we'll just let them catch it in front. We'll just tackle them. Hey, they'll get 5-6 yards. They'll dink and dunk all the way down the field. But then all of a sudden they break a tackle, and then now it's 30, and then Dak Prescott starts getting hot, and then he starts slinging it around. And then before you know it, now they're kicking an onside kick and recovering the football. And then now the pressure goes from being on Dallas to back on Baltimore, and then you can't get stops. And then as a defense, you start pressing like, hey, we need to get a stop. We need to get a stop. Somebody's got to make a play. And then it just, that tidal wave just kind of it jumps on you. And I've been in situations like that, and it's hard. You feel like you can't breathe. You feel like, hey, we need to score more points on offense instead of just looking at yourself and saying, hey, we need to get a stop on the defensive side of the ball. And then moving towards Baltimore's offense, you say, hey, you've got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. You should just be able to run the rock and get out of there. They weren't able to. There was a big third down with about 5 minutes left. Lamar misses a guy. They get the ball back. They go down and score a touchdown with Dallas. But then at the end of the game, when it mattered most, Lamar converts a third down with just over 2 minutes to go, and then they run the clock out. Lamar converts on third down. So it got a little dicey. It got exciting. But at the end of the day, like Lamar made a throw when he had to, and they converted when they needed to. Like, that's just a good team, and a team that, hey, we played really well. We've struggled in this little intermediate area. But at the end of the day, our quarterback needs to be able to convert a third down and throw one, and then we'll just go pound the ball.
Yeah, because I know I'm sure you watched plenty of that tape when you were preparing for this game because they blew the lead to the Raiders. And just watching it happen, the Ravens have lost 7 games in which they've held a double-digit lead since 2022. It seems like a thing.
Well, good teams know how to win games, and you look at the Chiefs and how they've won games this year. They just find a way to do it, and maybe this is an opportunity where Baltimore was playing really well. They struggled there in the fourth quarter. Cowboys came all the way back, but then when they needed a play, Lamar made one, and then he converted on that quarterback pool on first down to finish the game off.
And Dak was trying to make plays, trying to make it happen. The Cowboys defense, not helpful. I can't imagine a Luke Kuechly in a locker room where the coach comes in and says, we've given up 72 points in the last 2 weeks. What is going on? Is it a fixable issue? Can you sort of give me the prognosis and diagnosis on this?
Absolutely. I think they've got great players, and then you go to a different coordinator in Mike Zimmer this year, things are going to change. And I think there's a certain amount of time, there's guys don't play a ton in the preseason, right? And you can get as much as you want OTAs and training camp and a little bit in the preseason, but you need to get out there and feel what it's like to play this new style defense. You need to feel what it's like in the third quarter. What is Zim going to call right now? What does he want to do? What is he trying to get accomplished? And I think there's just a little bit of a feel out process. I'm not super concerned about them. They've got good players on their team. They're going to figure it out. They've struggled against the run the last 2 weeks. I think they were at 274 this past week, and then 190 to the Saints. So if that is an issue moving forward, that's going to be a problem. But sometimes I think it's just like a new play caller on the defensive side of the ball. These guys got to get used to what and how Zim calls things during the game. And at the end of the day, in the run game especially, you just got to play better. You got to play more physical. You got to play more stout. You got to use your hands and get off. And at some point, the run game becomes an attitude thing. So
why aren't you worried? What is it? How is that a fixable thing? You're saying why do you have faith in the Cowboys? And what does Luke Kuechly having faith in the Cowboys mean?
Well, I know they can score points fast, right? So you're not worried about their offense, and when your offense can score points, it takes a lot of pressure off of your defense. And then you look at their defense. Now they just got to figure out who they are a little bit. And Mike Zimmer's he's been around forever. He's a great defensive coordinator. They've got guys to rush the passer. They've got obviously Micah Parsons is a really good player. They're good inside. They'll start to figure it out. They just need some guys to step up a little bit and play it a little more firmly in the run game.
Let's go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Chargers. They improved to 3-0. The Steelers, who knew? Of course, they're the blue chip stock of the NFL. The run game. Justin Fields looks great, talking about second acts and, guys, when they're surrounded by talent and environment and situations matter. 245 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. What did Luke Kuechly learn about Fields and these Steelers and this offense on Sunday?
I think they're resilient for what Justin Fields has kind of been through, and he's got a little vindication this year with how they've started this season out. But he had some guys in his team make plays. Scotty Miller made a play. Calvin Austin made plays for him when he needed him to. But I think a lot of this game comes down to Mike Tomlin and the mindset of this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, right, or Pittsburgh Steelers team. They're banged up on the offensive side of the ball in the Chargers. Slater goes out, Alt goes out, Justin Herbert goes out. So in Mike Tomlin's mind, he's like, all right, let's keep this simple on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to play really good defense. We're going to give Justin Fields some opportunities to make plays, and we're going to pound the football. And at the end of the game, that's exactly what they did. And that's why I like watching Pittsburgh. They know who they are. There's no pride that they have to check. Mike Tomlin, if they had to run the ball 100 times to win, he would do it. He doesn't care how they win. All he wants to do is win football games. And their defense stepped up and played really well. And I think their offense fed off that. I
think, the Chargers basically said, we're not going to let you run. And guess what, Justin Fields, you're going to have to beat us with your arm. And guess what he did? And I thought that was the really impressive thing walking away from that. Chargers totally stacked the box, and he was successful. Tomlin said after the game that Justin Fields is doing, he used the word awesome. He's doing awesome. They're 3-0. Should Justin Fields be the starter for the rest of the way?
Absolutely. I don't know how you take him out of the game right now. Obviously, Russell Wilson's had a great career, but they're 3-0. He showed that he can be efficient throwing the ball this past week. The guys on the team believe in him, and you ride the hot hand at some point. Yeah, seeing Justin Herbert in a boot, not fun. Left the game in the third quarter. Your boy, who you spent time with, Taylor Heineke, might get some playing time here. What do we need to know about him, about how he might be able to carry this offense a little bit? Not my favorite news of the weekend. No, I'm a big Justin Herbert fan, but Taylor Heineke, he is a tough football player, and I'm very curious to see what happens with this Greg Roman offense. Taylor's an athlete; he can run. He can get out on the edges, and what we haven't seen from this offense a whole lot this year is the quarterback pool. Obviously, he did it in San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick, and then obviously the past couple of years with Lamar Jackson. If they struggle to throw the ball, and if they struggle just with traditional run game with Alt and Slater being out, do we see a little bit of this quarterback run game where he's reading the defensive end, pulling it, getting on the perimeter, and then really get back to playing, hey, am I going to run inside zone? Am I going to pound it? Boom, I can pull it on the perimeter. Do I have any play action off of that for some easy throws for Taylor? So I'm excited to see what they do moving forward. They've got a tough next couple games. They got the Chiefs coming this week, so they got their work cut out for him. But Taylor's a gamer. He's going to get out there and sling it around. The moments isn't going to be too big for him. We got 2 winless teams battling tonight in separate games. 2 Monday Night Football games. Let's do this. Jacksonville at Buffalo. Who do you think takes that one and why? Oh, Buffalo. All my boys are up in Buffalo. I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. Sean McDermott was my defensive coordinator here in Carolina for a long time. I'm a huge fan of his. Bobby Babich, the defensive coordinator, was here. Al Holcomb coaches, I think, Nichols up there now. He was my linebacker coach. I really like him. This is a slam dunk, though. Bills take it, no problem. Easy peasy. They're in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. The Bills Mafia has been getting after it all day today, so I'm looking forward to that game. And then we have Washington at Cincinnati on ESPN, on ABC. What do you think? I think Joe Burrow gets off the winless streak and gets a win. I think it sounds like T's going to play. Yeah. And for them to have him back, I think is a bigger deal than most people think. I think he's such a complimentary piece to them. They'll get him and Jamar going, and we start to really see this Bengals offense. And I don't want them to be 0-3 coming down here to play the Panthers next week. I need them to feel like, hey, we got to win under our belt. They don't have to press. Hopefully they play really well this week. I expect Joe and that offense to get rolling.
If they're 0-3, is it over?
No. I think when you have a quarterback like Joe Burrow and you've got two guys on the outside that can go get it, you always have a chance to win.
I think tonight they win and the roll starts all the way to the AFC Championship.
No, just the roll can start after next week.
After that, we love that. Okay,
Yeah.
You're very smart, Luke, as you know, even though you wouldn't admit to that, I'm sure. It is time for the Weekly Kuechly, not for the meekly, probably pretty geekly moment of genius. Luke, I want to know, what was the smartest play you saw from yesterday's action?
I like the hook and ladder from the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
I think if you ask Ben Johnson, you pin Ben Johnson down, you say, did you think it was going to go this smoothly? He'd probably say yeah, and be smirking at the same time. But look at the route that Amon-Ra St. Brown ran was literally perfect. Great ball by Jared Goff. The timing by Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield was perfect, and they caught him in literally the perfect defense. They were in cover 3, and then Sam Laporta gets out and blocks the third's corner. It was about as perfect as you draw it up, and I think that all those guys, when they go back and watch the tape today, they're all going to be high-fiving themselves, acting like this is exactly how we saw it going. But it was literally perfect. The execution, how he caught the ball, the flip, was perfect.
It also put the Lions up 20-7 going into halftime, and it gave us a weird stat line too. Gibbs is credited with 20 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown, but not with a target or a catch for this play.
How about that?
How about that? We love it. Okay, Kuechly, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good luck to the Knights this week, Wednesday night. Do your thing. We'll see if the Bengals and Bills pull it out. You're going a little safe there. Thought I might get an upset out of Kuechly, but we'll be back.
No, I like both those teams from Cincinnati, and I love the guys up in Buffalo. So.
Oh wait, you're staying on. I forgot. We'll just took a little break. Can I get your thoughts on? Could you believe in the Vikings, Luke? Don't leave yet. We have another thing with you. Do you like?
Yeah.
Do you believe in the Vikings?
I think so, yeah. They don't even have all their guys yet. No Jordan Addison, no TJ Hawkinson. The Aaron Jones pickup was huge. We just Sam's got to keep playing well.
It's all on Sam. I mean, Flores is bananas. I want to get into that a little bit. Okay, I think we're gonna have you on still for another part, but we have to take a break. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Thanks, Luke. What time did you get home?
I got back to the house at 2:30.
2:30?
We were pretty efficient getting out of there, though.
I didn't think. I guess it is. You have to go all the way, but it's so far. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But at least you get to be home. So you're home for this next one, and then again you leave.
Yeah. Then we play Chicago after Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we go a little
about.
run here. We win this one. We got a bunch of rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, and then Washington, and then we got Denver coming up. So.
What does a win like yesterday do? I mean, I saw Canal. By the way, Canales' vert is off the charts. I was like, he's so tall and he jumped so high. What does that do for this team? Like, is it everyone's feeling themselves, or everybody? Like, it's a huge deal. Probably the most important win of the week for any NFL team.
Yeah, I think they see what they can be now. I think Andy comes in and shows them, hey, this is what we can look like on the offensive side of the ball, and I think it gives everybody a boost.
He's the coolest. I love Andy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for Andy.
Did you see how excited he was? Shoot, when was that? Tuesday or Wednesday? When they talked to him about starting, he was so excited, like grinning from ear to ear, just talking about he's so excited for the opportunity to play football again and get a start and be the guy, and it's just. He's a great dude, and his parents were there this weekend.
They were?
His wife was there, yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, I didn't see this. Was it on, this was on video?
It was on Panthers. It's probably on Panthers.com or something. It was just
And like, what a gift for Bryce, honestly. Who better? Who better than him?
Just sit there and just kind of watch for a little bit and take your take a break.
It's funny you said relax, because it's like obviously not what he's doing, but that is a part of it. You just need to like slow it down for a minute.
And you need somebody else to make the decision for you. Like, hey, Bryce, just take a break. You're good.
Yeah. Okay, we're back in 10 seconds here. Let's do this. Okay, sound out a break. Sounds good. Okay. Okay.
It seemed like this is one of the first games under your leadership that the team just didn't seem to show up tonight.
No, they didn't. I think as the game went on, I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions. And we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
All right, there are so many headlines on a Monday morning following some Sunday action. So Luke Kuechly, future Hall of Famer, is going to help us sort of sift through what's actually important. What is the big deal? What's actually going to have an impact on the weeks that come? So let us start with what we just had. What is the bigger deal? Antonio Pierce saying some players made business decisions, near the end of that loss to the Panthers, or this headline that CeeDee Lamb chewed out Dak Prescott on the sidelines.
I think it's the Raiders situation. I think Antonio Pierce saying that his guys aren't playing hard enough and aren't playing tough football. I think that's a bigger deal, just kind of reading between the lines on what he said there.
Yeah, a wide receiver chewing out his quarterback happens week in, week out. And, you know, those offensive players, they get so heated. Okay, so what's a bigger deal? The Raiders situation about business decisions of getting called out by your coach, or Caleb Williams throwing the ball 52 times in their loss to the Colts? 52, Luke.
I think for a rookie quarterback, I think the run game and play action is his best friend. And I think anybody throwing the ball that many times, you're asking for trouble. Dak threw it 50-some times yesterday, too, and they struggled up until the fourth quarter as well. So I think just protecting your rookie quarterback's important, and trying to rely on the run game and getting something going with that is super important. So I'd like to see them not put so much on his plate next week.
Is that a bigger deal than the Raiders? Or are you picking the Raiders as the bigger deal?
You know what? I think anytime you call out your guys and say you're not playing hard enough, I question how much you want to be here. That's a big deal, and that's a pretty pointed thing. And I like that. I like calling guys out. I don't have a problem with that. And, you know, we'll see how those guys respond moving forward.
It's all because of your Panthers and what they did. You know, that must feel good that you guys are causing all this tumult out there in Vegas. Okay, Raiders accountability situation, business decisions, or is that a bigger deal than the controversial pass interference call or non-call late in the Chiefs game?
You know what? I'm gonna still go back to the Raiders situation. Yeah, it was a bang call. You can see it. You can talk about it from both sides. But Atlanta had an opportunity at the end of the game to go make a play. And I was in that situation one time with Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady on Monday Night Football in Carolina. And I kind of was in the same situation, and it was definitely pass interference on me, and they picked it up. So I'm going to push that away and say, great defense.
Okay, great. Not as big of a deal as what's going on. These Raiders might be in trouble. How about, I know. How about Tom Rinaldi saying that Derrick Henry's diet consists of, here's what he said on the broadcast: no fried food, no dairy, no gluten, no artificial sugars. And he doesn't eat until 4 or 5 p.m. during the season. He eats nothing until then. What's a bigger deal?
That's a bigger deal. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you don't just, like, on the way back from a big road win, how you don't want to eat an ice cream bar on the airplane with your boys.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, that was the number one thing. Get on the plane, have the food they give you before you get on the airplane. Get on the plane, get up in the air, talk to the guys, and then grab a little Dove ice cream bar as they're coming down the aisle.
I can't. What was your game? What did you put down on game day? Give me like top to bottom. Go.
Oh, let's see here. I had a salad. We had always had a really good salad bar. So I had a kale salad with blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. And then I had pasta with chicken breast and a steak. What else did I have? I had some breakfast potatoes and some eggs.
Sounds great. Derrick Henry, you're doing it wrong. That apparently is the biggest deal of week 3. Luke, we appreciate it. We'll see you this time next week. Enjoy the Bengals game tonight. And then they're going to beat your team next week. It'll be great. We'll be back right here on Up and Adams. Bye, Luke.
See ya.
Tonight is the K versus Kevin Durant Bowl. I love
Yes, it is.
I love Washington. I would love Washington to have success 17 other weeks. Just not this one. You know, just this one, no. If we were 2-1, no, if we were 1-1, if we had a win, I'd be okay. The Bengals need this win. So I can't, in fact, root for the Washington Commanders because they are doing better than my Bengals. So Kevin Durant, huge Commanders fan, hanging out with Magic, going to camp, saying he's always going to pick. It ends today. This is when the FanDuel family has that just a little wall, a little drama, if you will, at the old dinner table. What are the odds?
This is going to be the Bengals were 7.5-point favorites last I checked. Let's see
That's
if that
right.
has moved at all. Yep, still 7.5.
That's right, Kevin Durant. That's right, favorites at home tonight.
Do you guys have any types of terms worked out for this yet?
No, we have not. Of course, we have not spoken about it. It is an unspoken. It is that serious. It is one of those Robert De Niro meet the Fockers. That's what it is. I'm watching you, buddy. No, but I mean, if they win, it is trouble for this Bengal. It is trouble. Yeah. I like Kuechly's Pollyanna thing, but woof 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 woof. This should not be. This should not be. Not with an extra day of rest coming off a heart-wrenching loss to the Chiefs that you almost had. It shouldn't be close. If they squeak it out, I'm going to be annoyed. How about that? I don't want a squeaky win.
You got to take the wins where you can get them.
I don't want a squeaky win. I don't want any stress. No. I'm going to. Am I going to get to even watch these games, or I'm going to have to watch them at like midnight? I'm going to the Netflix The Starting Five premiere. I'm excited.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Travis Kelce at the U.S. Open. I'm going to have like my phone. You know, I'll dance with Taylor Swift, watch Red Zone, like he did at the U.S. Open. Great. Okay, seems like a lot of copy in here. Lots of copy. Let's see how this goes.
Do these things sort of come in threes, you think? Is Will Levis on the docket for this Sunday?
Man, I hope so. I hope so. we I'll just keep my routine, keep preparing how I know how to. And, when those opportunities present themselves, my job is to seize those moments and seize those opportunities. So I'm going to definitely try to keep this thing rolling.
3rd and 17. Levis throwing deep. And it is intercepted. Xavier McKinney. 3 interceptions in 3 games.
Unbelievable. We kind of called it. McKinney kept it rolling just like he told us he would. Packers once again come up with a win. Sans Jordan Love. The defense looks amazing. They forced 3 turnovers. They racked up 8 sacks. And Malik Willis was nearly perfect against his former team in the win. Has to love that for him. Completing close to 70% of his passes, over 200 yards through the air, put up 73 in a score on the ground. I mean, to do all of this when he's been on the team for less than a month is unbelievable. Credit to him, of course. Credit to the coaching, man. Being able to pick up the offense, being able to teach him something, adjust. The tailoring that has gone on is perfect, okay? Malik has been in the position to succeed, a former teammate from high school of said Xavier McKinney. Unbelievable. And here's LaFleur talking about the effort from his quarterback.
I just cannot articulate the job that he's done in the short period of time. People can't fathom it, I promise you. You guys don't get it. I know you think you got it, but you don't get it. What he's been able to do is I've never seen something like this.
Okay, I mean, I kind of get it. I'm giving him love here. LaFleur, calm down. No, it's amazing. Jordan Love was like maybe going to play last week. He's trying to come back. Don't even just shh. Let him sit down, let him relax, send him to like a spa, do whatever. The Packers are special. This kind of adversity is only going to make everybody better. It's amazing, and we are going to have to dig in more to this Malik Willis over the week here. They could have started this season, as a lot of Packers expected, 0-for. And they would, by the way, if he wasn't as on point and picking it up, just like LaFleur is saying, just like he has and we're seeing. So this is a great week 4 bout, guys. Them against the Vikings, NFC North battle. It would be amazing at the quarter mark of the NFL season. Okay, it is now the return of something we're pretty freaking good at. Let's effing go, as the TikTokers say. It's hunch time, people. We got 2 games on Monday night. Jags, Bills in Buffalo. Commanders, Bengals in Cincinnati. Hammer. I'm sure there's lots of fun going on over at FanDuel Sportsbook. They had to write a lot of checks, a lot of deposits, a lot of wiring going on for our viewers. What do we got?
All right, first up, Josh Allen didn't score a rushing touchdown last week. He's minus 140 to get one tonight against the Jags. What's your hunch on a Josh Allen anytime touchdown?
Anytime touchdown? I don't know. Has he ever gone back-to-back without rushing touchdowns? Not in a long time, I think. So I'm going to say he's got 13 in his last 10 games overall. There's no world where he goes back-to-back without an anytime touchdown. This is child's play. What do you got? Give me something hard.
Next up, revenge game for Gabe Davis. His line for receiving yards is set at 38.5. What's your hunch? Does he hit the over on that against the Bills?
Well, he's gone over in both games so far this year. I mean, they don't call him Big Game Gabe for no reason, right? You know what I'll say? He goes over this. I will also call my shot on a touchdown tonight. What are the odds on that? Do you know by any chance the odds on a touchdown for him?
Let's see what the latest is there. He's now...
I don't know what it is, but I think he gets a touchdown.
He was plus 320. He's now plus 300.
Plus 300. Gabe Davis scores a touchdown. Boom.
All right, last one. Bengals Commanders. Give me an anytime touchdown scorer for that game.
I hate when you do this. This is scary stuff. Okay, show them to me. Give them to me! Joe Burrow. I like, how about Kostecki? I like his odds here. Bad drop last week. He's going to want to make that. That's a nice juicy one at plus 280. Higgins is back. Commanders are going to be all over him and Jamar, and that'll leave things open for Kostecki, who will gritty, and that should get docked points.